What up, everybody? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do a collection video of my Nintendo Switch games, but it'll probably have to be done in several sets. Probably be done two parts. I don't know why I said several sets for, but anyway, though, it'll have to be done in two parts because I can only upload like maybe 10 to 13 minutes worth of footage. Because any longer than that, and they're like, you have to verify your account and everything else, and unfortunately, I'm unable to do that. So because I've already had to use this number for two accounts before that were unfortunately terminated. So, yeah. So, without further ado, I'm going to get right into it. A Hat in Time. Good way to sum it up, it's a good 3D platformer. It's pretty much a good cheap alternative for something like Mario Sunshine or Mario Odyssey. Something like that. And if you love those games, you'll definitely love A Hat in Time. So, yeah. Next one here is America's Greatest Game Shows, Wheel of Fortune, and Jeopardy! What can I say? I mean, it's Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy! You know what? You've seen the shows, you know what you're getting into when it comes to the games. So, yeah. Animal Crossing, New Horizons. Just a really good time waster. You know what? You'll really lose track of time in this game and you'll end up playing a lot of it. You'll spend many hours playing that game if you get into it. So, yeah. Arms. It's a very wacky Punch Out clone, pretty much. You ever played Punch Out? Well, then you'll know what kind of getting into with that. Only your arms are like springs, or they can stretch way out and everything, and you can do like grapple holds and things like that. So I think they did add a couple little game modes here and there, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's whatever when it comes to that game. Atari Flashback Classics, all 150 games on there. There's actually when it comes to these games on the PS4 or Xbox One, they sold them in three different editions, and each one only had 50 games. So whenever they re-released the games for the Switch, they put all 150 games onto one cartridge instead of making us have to go out and buy three separate games like what you have to with the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. Next one here is Brawl Out. What I mean, it tries so much to be as good as Smash, but it's not as good as Smash. It's the best way to put it. It's kind of more like Brawlhalla in terms of its physics and whatnot. It doesn't have no story mode or anything like that to play through, unfortunately. It's all when it comes down to it, Smash Bros is always gonna be king of the party fighter genre. So yeah, but Brawlout does have a ukulele in it, so at least there's that. It's supposed to be like Smash, but with indie characters instead. The sad thing is they didn't really go with very memorable, indie characters. Ukulele's the most memorable one in there. You think they would have put something like Shovel Knight or something like that in there, but yeah, what can you do? Next one here is Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. It's a really fun, you know, puzzle game, and it is pretty challenging, especially when you get to the second part where you have to play as Toadette. So yeah, Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy, one of the best collections you're going to be able to get a hold of, and honestly, I definitely like this better than Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. That game is so rage-inducing that it makes me want to pull my hair out. So, yeah. CTR, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Really, really good game. Love this game and definitely recommend it. It's got a good story mode to play through. The battle modes, they're pretty fun. And the racing, out of this world, man. It's really fun, fast-paced, It's definitely going to keep you on your toes. Especially if you can get good at it and everything. So, yeah. Definitely say it's better than Mario Kart in many aspects. Mario Kart still is better when it comes to the battle mode. But when it comes to literally everything else, the Crash Team Racing is a better game to go with. So, yeah. Cruisin' Blast. I don't know what to say about this game. I got it for like $10 because they had it on clearance, and I'm glad I got it for that cheap because it's a really fun game, but some of the courses were definitely recycled, so there's not as much content there to it as what they might make it seem like there is. So yeah, but it is very fun. It's very arcadey. You ever played Hydro Thunder? Well, that's pretty much what that is, but with cars instead. This is something from one of my all-time favorite, genres. Being the overhead dungeon explorer type of games, and it is Darksiders Genesis. And if I be honest, I like it better than the other Darksiders games. So yeah, Darksiders 2 is really good, and the first one was really good. The third one, forget it. But speaking of overhead dungeon explorers, and this is probably one I'm going to do an LP of at some point in time when I get done with Mario Odyssey, and that is Diablo Eternal Collection. By far one of my all-time favorite, overhead dungeon explorers. And fun fact, they're actually going to be bringing Diablo 4 over there to the Xbox One, so looks like I might have something to look forward to after all. So yeah. Next one here is Disney Classic Game Collection with Aladdin, The Lion King, and The Jungle Book. Has all the old NES ones, and I think, or the Super Nintendo ones. It's definitely one of those two. And then it has all of the Sega Genesis editions of those games as well. So there's a decent amount of content there. I only got that game for like $20. So it's like, yeah, it's whatever. One of the best RPGs you're going to find that's available on everything, but still. And it is Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. Really love this game. It's one of my all-time favorites. If you're a little kid playing that game and you're like, man, I just wish I can find an RPG that, would allow me to make my character to be able to represent what I currently look like and everything, you're in luck. You can make your character a fat ass. You can make your character a scrawny little zit fuck. You can make your character look like a little kid. Yeah. Any gender, whether it be male, female, or, whatever it is that's in between, So, yeah. Best game to get in terms of an RPG, because it actually is a true RPG. Not just one of these action adventures with RPG elements, but an actual true RPG. So yeah. Another really good game show type of game, and that is Family Feud. I am a bit disappointed that Steve Harvey is not the host of that, but what can you do? I mean, Steve Harvey, I think he's actually my cousin or something. I really do have someone in my family named Steve Harvey. It's not the actual Steve Harvey from that hosted Family Feud or anything, but I really do have a family member in my family that's named Steve Harvey. So yeah. Fire Emblem Three Houses, a really good turn-based JRPG. Lots of replay value. There's three different houses you get to choose from in this game, and I mean, in terms of all the build-up missions, it's pretty much the same, but it has different bosses, and it can have different endings and stuff. So there definitely is some replay value to that game right there. And if you get the DLC, there's even more replay value. Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes. Again, pretty much a lot like that one. It can turn out different based on what side you choose and everything. So again, even if this is just a Dynasty Warriors clone, at the end of the day, it's still got a lot of replay value to it as well. Just like what the Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Three Houses does. Gianna Sisters, Twisted Dreams Ultimate Edition. It's a fun little side-scrolling platformer. Kind of puts me in mind of the Rayman series or something. But you switch off between these two different characters that have their own unique abilities. So, yeah. Really test your skills and stuff, too, when you have to switch back and forth between those two characters. So, yeah. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Again, just like with Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes, this is a really, really good game. Didn't care so much for the Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, but this one's really good. It's got a good story. It's pretty much like an alternative story from Breath of the Wild, where it's like a what if, what you would have got if you'd been able to save all the champions or whatever that died in Breath of the Wild. Yeah, spoiler alert for those who haven't played Breath of the Wild, but whatever. It's like, who hasn't played that game at this point, or at least doesn't know about the overall plot points and everything in Breath of the Wild. So yeah. Speaking of Breath of the Wild, got Immortals Phoenix Rising. Why does this remind me of Breath of the Wild? Because it's just Breath of the Wild, but with a, you know, Greek mythology theme or whatever. Literally, it's just Breath of the Wild. You have the glider that you use. You can literally climb everything. You got a stamina system. Like everything that Breath of the Wild lets you do, you do in this. Even when it comes to like repetitive little dungeons and puzzles, just like Breath of the Wild. The only thing that this doesn't do, that this does, or doesn't, yeah, doesn't do that Breath of the Wild does, you don't have to worry about your weapons breaking after a few hits like what you do with Breath of the Wild. Your weapon's good to go throughout the entire game. So yeah, but of course with Breath of the Wild, like I said, you hit your enemy a few times with a weapon and the weapon breaks, and there's no repair system or anything, unfortunately. So yeah, it'll do 2+. If you like the original Legend of Zelda, like the overhead dungeon exploring Legend of Zelda game with puzzles and everything, you'll love this game because that's exactly what this is. You know, it's just like the original Legend of Zelda. So yeah, that's going to have to be part 1 though of my Nintendo Switch collection video because like I said, I can't, record very long. So yeah. So I will have to see. I'll have to continue this next time. I will see you all then. Y'all take care. God bless and peace. And my butt wanted to say something. So yeah.